So you can try and repeat after me. Om Gyantimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So, this is the session for today, that is Discover the Game of Life. So, we welcome all of you for this session. Life is like a game, isn't it? And we all want to win this game. So, why do we play games? To be successful, right? And to show our skills and talents, express ourselves and win. That is the game, that is the goal of playing the game. So life is also like a game, and we wish to win in this game, isn't it? Just like if you are taking a train and let's say you're going to Delhi. So will you want to reach the destination when you take the train? Yes. At the same time, do you want the journey to be very nice also? Right? Comfortable. Right? So you want the journey to be nice. At the same time, you also want to reach the destination. Similarly, life is also like that. We want to reach the right destination at the end of this life. And at the same time, we want to ensure that the journey is smooth. The journey is nice. The journey is a happy one, right? तो जीवन गेम की तरह है. सब चाहते हैं कि हम इस जीवन में अपना जो डेस्टिनेशन है वहाँ पहुँचे और उसके साथ ही साथ हमारा जो जर्नी है वो भी अच्छा रहे, है ना? तो एक खास फ़र्क है जानवर में और मनुष्य में, जिसके बारे में हम चर्चा करेंगे कुछ समय के बाद. आपको लगता है कुछ फ़र्क है? यू थिंक देयर इज़ अ डिफरेंस? यस. सो वी कम टू दैट. वील डिस्कस व्हाट इज़ द डिफरेंस. सो वी आर ऑल लुकिंग फॉर व्हाट वी कॉल एज हैप्पीनेस. So what are we looking for happiness? Where are we looking for happiness? Where are we looking for happiness? Outside. In what? Inside. Someone said outside, someone said inside. See, this slide tells where we are looking for happiness. So there are people who are looking for happiness in different things. Like when we were small, we were looking for happiness in balloon. Right? If our parents are there with us, we see some balloon wala on the street, we cry, balloon, 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 balloon. Now do you cry like that for balloon? No? Why? It has changed, right? That balloon is not any more attractive to us. But when we grow up, then we want a bicycle. We grow up further, then we want football. We grow up further, then we want some partner. Right? So we are all attracted to the opposite sex. Then, money, sweeter than honey. Right? So everyone is running after money. Then, when we are old, then we are looking for some love from our grandchildren. So you see, everyone is looking for happiness. But then, is the object for happiness the same throughout? No. Why is it changing? Why is it changing? Because we are getting old. So what? Our thinking is changing. What does this prove? That we change. What else does it prove? So we are all looking for happiness. They are all looking for happiness. And they're looking for happiness in... Happiness remains with us or with... In every situation happiness, if in every situation happiness remains, then you should still be happy with the balloon, na? Why you are not happy with balloon? Yes. Everything is material here. Okay? Happiness should be inside, within. Okay? What else? But if the object of happiness is changing throughout, what does it prove? इससे क्या साबित होता है? Okay, material happiness comes and goes, and we have to look for happiness within. Yes.
Or like for us, Shri Krishna.
Okay. So we're looking for happiness by establishing a relationship with the Supreme Lord Krishna.
Yes.
So, you want to say something? Yeah. Happiness is temporary. Okay. Happiness is temporary. So, one thing is clear, that if at one point balloon was enjoyable, it's no more enjoyable, then that means that the object in which I was looking for happiness, after I got it, I was no more happy with it. And then I'm looking for the next thing, then the next, then the next, then the next. And it goes on like that. So, we cannot say that this, if I get, I will be happy. Although at the time being, we might feel like that, कि अगर ये मिलने से मुझे खुशी हो जाएगा. But then it keeps changing. Then there are some people who look for happiness in fashion. Right? So they want to dress up in a certain way, have some funny hairstyle, and they feel that now I'm happy because I'm adopting the best, the modern day fashion. And some people, they do daredevil acts. You see people flying in the sky, parachute. It can be risky to life, right? Yet they will do it. And then after coming down, they'll be like, "Kitna maza aaya." It was so much fun to ride a bike like that or to fly in the sky. The people are looking for happiness by doing some daredevil stunts. Then some people are looking for happiness in sports, right? Then there are others who are looking for happiness in intoxication and parties. So we are very fortunate group of people. On a Sunday we have come to the temple and we are not out partying, right? Because this kind of happiness, will it last long?
Forever.
This kind of happiness. Yeah, this kind of happiness will not last forever. This will last for a few hours. And then the people will be miserable, right? So they will throw up, or the whole morning they will be sleeping, right? Because they've had such heavy drinks and things like that. very unhealthy for the body. Then there are others who are looking for happiness in eating. इतने सारे रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं ना बाहर, देखा है? क्यों है? वो रास्ते पे सड़क पे पानीपुरी वाले के अभी लाइन लगा रहता है, देखा है? मोमोज, बाहर मंदिर के बाहर में थोड़ा आगे जाएंगे तो वहाँ पे मोमोज का देखने से छोटा स्टॉल है, वहाँ पे मैं रोज़ दिखता हूँ शाम को, बड़ा लाइन लगा रहता है, लोग बाइक पे आते, गाड़ी में आते, रोकते, उधर खाते रास्ते पे. Some people feel that happiness is in eating nice food. Some feel that अरे happiness means sleeping. Sunday है, सो जाते हैं आज, 12 बजे उठेंगे. Then some people feel happiness is in mating, and the others feel if we can defend ourselves, protect ourselves, then we are happy. So these are 4 common things: eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. But if you look at the animals' lives, so animals, do they have friends?
Yes.
Yes. Do they have fun?
Yes.
Do they have family?
Yes.
Do they eat?
Yes.
Do they sleep?
Yes.
Do they mate?
Yes.
Do they defend?
Yes.
Then what is the difference between animals and us? Are we different from animals? No? No. We are also animals. Are we better than animals? How? How are we better than animals? Our mind. Huh? We can speak. They also speak. Their language you do not understand, but they understand their language. You've seen dogs barking, na? और मेरे गली में क्यों है? Someone else comes in their lane, then they bark. Yes. Thinking. They don't think.
About like out of the box, who is like who made the structure? How does it make the structure?
There is one animal that makes a whole bridge across the water. They also think. You see the birds, they gather small parts and build their nest. They also think out of the box. They make their home like that. Then what is the difference between animals and us? Yes.
We can seek and understand spiritual knowledge.
Okay. Yes, we can seek and understand spiritual knowledge. Yes, very nice. What's your name? Sorry? Agnay. Agnay. Abhinay. Agnay. Agnay is right. Okay. Thank you, Agnay. So we can actually seek and understand spiritual knowledge. Do we see any animals here? No. Because they do not seek spiritual knowledge. That's right. So, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, if you see, these things are common. Animals do, we also do. But at the most, what may happen is, we may do it in a very fashionable way. We may go to some pizza shop, Costa Coffee, or whatever. I don't know. I don't go out, so I don't know the names. So you may go out to some nice restaurants, Taj, and eat there. An animal may be eating on the street. The birds may be eating in the nest on the tree, right? So we may do it in a nice, sophisticated manner. We sleep in nice big apartments with bed, Dunlop, and the animal is sleeping on the street, right? The animal is mating on the streets, whereas a man may mate in his nice apartment. So we may defend with modern weapons, nuclear bomb, and so on. And animals may bark, or they may use their fist and so on. So the same things, eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, the animals also do, we also do. The only difference is that we may do it in a sophisticated manner, right? थोड़ा ऊंचे तरीके से करते हैं हम लोग, लेकिन करते वही है. जितना भी एडवांसमेंट हो रहा है स्पिरिचुअल, ये साइंटिफिक एडवांसमेंट, उससे हम लोग क्या कर पा रहे हैं? सेम चीज़ है, ईटिंग, स्लीपिंग, मेटिंग, डिफेंडिंग अच्छे तरीके से कर पा रहे हैं. जैसे नया जब मशीन्स बनना चालू हुआ था तो वो टूथब्रश बना था, वो टूथब्रश खुद ऐसे घूमता था और फिर उससे हम अपने दांत साफ करते थे. कर क्या रहे? दांत ही साफ कर रहे हैं, राइट? लेकिन अभी घर पे जाते तो ओ एलेक्सा, सिरी, हे सिरी स्विच ऑन द लाइट्स, और लाइट चालू कर दे। हे एलेक्सा व्हाट इज़ द टेम्परेचर आउटसाइड, वो टेम्परेचर बता। कर क्या रहे, वही सेम चीज़ है। तो इनफैक्ट अभी क्योंकि हर कुछ चीज़ हम उस मशीन को बोलते करने को, खुद उठते नहीं है बेड से, सब कुछ रिमोट कंट्रोल से, बोलने से हो जाता है। तो फिर वो इंसान जो है वो ऐसे ही बैठा है और बैठ के सो के और लेज़ी हो गया है। सो इज़ इट रियली एडवांसमेंट, और आर वी डूइंग द सेम थिंग ऑफ ईटिंग, स्लीपिंग, मेटिंग, डिफेंडिंग इन अ सोफिस्टिकेटेड मैनर, राइट? It's just doing the same thing, but the animals also do the same thing. In fact, you will see that we are sophisticated animals, you know, like this. कोट वोट पहना है, लेकिन काम क्या कर रहे हैं? जानवर का। लेकिन आप देखेंगे कुछ चीज़ें होती है that actually animals do better than us. For example, look at all of these animals. Do you know what they can do better? Like first, eagle is there. Why is it special? What is special about an eagle? It can fly. Many birds fly, but why eagle is special? They fly very high in the sky. Okay. What else? Very good eyesight. Although they may be flying very high in the sky, they know exactly, where that small thing that they need to eat is there, and they will come down, pick up the fish and go, right? So they have a very brilliant eyesight, better than human beings. So you see, they are better than humans. What other speciality you see in the other animals? Speed in horse. Okay. What else? Polar bear. What's special about it? It can sleep. You can sleep for how many hours? Maximum. How many hours? 12 hours. Maximum. You know how much polar bear can sleep? 6 months. So he's better than us, right, in sleeping. What else? Yes. Loyal. Dogs are loyal, humans are not loyal. They are more than humans loyal. इंसान का भरोसा नहीं, कभी भी धोखा दे के चला जाएगा। Intelligence, they are more intelligent than us. Who? Humans are more. Now we are talking about what is special about these animals and makes them better than us. Elephant does? Strength, yes. Elephant has a lot of strength and can eat so much, right? We discussed how people eat in big restaurants and they feel nice, but the elephant can eat tons of food at the same time. Can we eat? You may like gulab jamun. How many gulab jamuns can you eat at one time? 15? That's it? Not more than that, na? 20? Elephant can eat a lot more. You can give him a whole bucket of gulab jamun, he will eat. So you will see that all these animals, they are actually doing things better than the humans. In fact, a human cannot compare with these animals in all these different things. So they are way better than humans. So then how is human better in his inquiry about spiritual life? Right, so we'll go a little ahead. So here you see, in eating, sleeping, mating, defending, animals also have rational power and intelligence. ऐसा नहीं है कि जानवर को कुछ दिमाग नहीं है, उसको पता नहीं कैसे करना है, कैसे खाना है, कैसे जीना है, कैसे घर बनाना है. It knows everything, right? Animals are even better than human beings, like we saw in some cases. But human beings have technology, right? Whereas animals don't. But then has it improved our way of living? Despite all of these advancements, modern day man is stressed, he's frustrated, he's angry, he's unhappy, right? Do you all agree? Yes? We have created a lifestyle in which we are having to work for 8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours, 14 hours. Sometimes people are working for 16 hours. Sometimes people work so much that they die just because they worked for 2 days together, 3 days together, like that. Recently, it was there in news that one woman who was pregnant was made to work for some 3 days together at a stretch, and she committed suicide because she was given shift after shift after shift. Such is the situation of modern day man. So he's created a lifestyle in which he has to work so hard that the very thing for which he is working, which is happiness, he does not get. So although so many luxuries are there is so much technological advancement, we are becoming more and more unhappy. Right? The mobile phone, we all have mobile phone, right? How many hours do we spend on mobile phone every day? We lost count, right? All day we are on mobile phone. We are addicted to it. How many of us use social media, Instagram? For how many hours? Half an hour? 1 hour? 2 hours? Now a little less. Exams are? No. Because of coming here. Okay. 3 hours? Sometimes you might be spending hours and hours together just scrolling, not realizing how we are actually wasting time. So, although man created all of these technological advancements to put to use, but these advancements are actually using man. They're using up our time. And therefore, some of the great personalities who have been the origins of all of these technological advancements, they themselves do not put their children, or they do not give gadgets to their children, because they know how it affects us. So, although there is so much advancement, we are suffering. Right? So we have to understand that we are given these gadgets, it has a certain purpose. Right? At the most, you may use it for communication or some study use. But if we are just uselessly wasting time, scrolling day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, then we'll not realize how the whole of our life is misused. We just wasted it. Right? So, in modern day, we are supposed to use things, but then we are using people. Why? For our own benefit, for our own advantage. So, things are to be used for some reason, for some purpose, and then they should be given up. Not that we spend our whole life being engrossed in it. So modern day man has become unhappy because of this. Do animals face all of this? Riots, suicides. Did you hear any time? दो कुत्तों के बीच में झगड़ा हुआ, एक ने सुसाइड कर लिया गाड़ी के नीचे आकर के. You hear any time? No, right? Divorces, drug abuse. Do you see animals doing all of this? No. But then man is doing all of this, right? So then what makes man superior? Right? So we'll recite this verse. You can also try and repeat. Ahara nidra bhayamaithunam cha samanyamethad pashuhi naranam dharmo hi tesham adhiko vishesho dharme nahina pashuhi samana. This is from the Mahabharata. So this verse comes in the Mahabharata. It says, Ahara nidra bhayam maithun. Ahar means eating. Nidra, sleep. Bhaya means fear. Maithun means mating. So it says, Ahar nidra bhaya maithun samanyam etat pashuhi naranam. ये 4 चीजें कॉमन है. किसमें? पशु में और नर में. Animals, humans. But then what is it that makes humans superiors to animals? धर्मो हि तेषाम अधिको विशेषो. So dharma जो है, practice of religion, is what makes the human being superior to animals. To understand who I am, what is life, what is God, what is my relationship with God. When one actually starts inquiring about these things, then he is actually leading a human form of life. Because now he is doing that thing for which the human form of life has been given to him. But if we are doing the same things, eating, sleeping, mating and defending, dharmena hina pashuhi samana. But if there is no dharma, then he is just like an animal. Dvipada pashu. The scriptures say that such a person who does not utilize his life in spiritual awakening, he is called as a two-legged animal. He is walking on two legs, but then he is still an animal. So, this human form of life is meant for higher inquiries, right? What are those higher inquiries? Who am I? Does God exist? Finding a true guide. Is there life after death? Who is the supreme person? Can we get whatever we want in life? How to achieve unending happiness? Do we make destiny or destiny makes us? If God is one, then why there are so many religions? Why do bad things happen to good people? So when we start inquiring and thinking about all of these things, then we are actually leading a human form of life. Because human form of life is meant for such inquiry. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. The Vedanta Sutra, the very first aphorism says that now that you have attained the human form of life, inquire about the absolute truth, right? About Brahman. So that is the very first thing we should be doing. But are we taught this in schools or colleges?
No.
Are we taught to inquire like that? What are we taught in schools and colleges? Yeah, we have to rote learn. But what are we taught?
Material.
What material?
Material.
Material things. You will be taught to educate yourself so that you can get a job. You can maintain yourself, earn a living. But do they teach us what is life all about and why am I suffering? If in the course of doing all of these activities to get a job and then trying to earn a lot of money, if I am getting suffering, does the school teach us how to traverse all these paths that may be difficult for us to, go through? No. Does it teach us what is the higher purpose of life? No. So, all of these things are the actual real questions that one has to inquire in his life, in this human birth. Without which, the human life becomes incomplete, and then we become more and more animalistic, because of which we face so many problems that we saw in the previous slides. Right? People are frustrated, they're committing suicides. They are committing crime, right? Because they have lost the purpose of life, they have lost the aim of life, and therefore they engage in sinful activities. Right? So, all of these questions are answered. There is an answer to all of these questions in the scriptures. Only thing that we need is to inquire and search for these answers. Look for these answers. Then we'll get answers to all of these questions. There are two kinds of natures, right? Divine and demoniac. There is positive thinking and there is negative thinking. So now, imagine that you were writing a book. This book is the book of your life. If you are supposed to write in this book, what is it that you will write that will create a better future for you? So imagine this book is of 100 chapters, and each chapter is 365 days. And half of our book is already over. If we are 15 years, then 15 chapters are over. If we are 20 years, 25 years, 25 chapters are over. So, what is it that you will write now that will help you for a better future? Right? Whom do you want to be? The person on the left or the person on the right? The person on the left is angry, frustrated, and the person on the right is very happy, joyful. He's making others also happy. Right? So we need to choose what we want to become in life. You can lead a life which is free of ego, eco-friendly, or you may lead a life running after money, after love and family, and yet because of a lack of understanding of how all of these things work, we may end up in a mess. We may end up frustrated because we are so self-centered. Right? So we need to choose, how am I going to write my life? How am I going to write, or what I'm going to write in this book of life? Right. In the scriptures, in one of the Upanishads, this analogy is given. It's called the chariot of the body. In that, these 5 horses are compared to the 5 senses. What are the 5 senses? Eyes, nose, ears, tongue and touch. So they are compared to the 5 horses. And the reins, जो रस्सी है, that is compared to the mind. The driver is compared to the intelligence. And the passenger is compared to the soul. What will happen if the senses that are there, the 5 horses, they are getting attracted? Eyes feel, "Arey, this is so nice, beautiful." The ears feel, "Wow, nice music, I want to go there." The tongue feels, "Wow, tasty food, let me go there." And the mind is the rein, the rassi. The mind also gets attracted towards all these sense objects. And the intelligence, who is the driver, is very weak. What will happen to the chariot? He'll go in the wrong direction, right? What is supposed to happen ideally? The intelligence is supposed to control the mind. It's supposed to control the senses. Then the chariot will not go astray, right? But if the intelligence is not sharp, then what will happen? The chariot will go everywhere, in any direction. And because it's running in any direction, the passenger may fall off the chariot. Right? So that is exactly what is happening in today's modern day and age. Because one's mind and senses are not in control, there is crime, there is greed in society, there is envy, hatred, then anger. What else? Jealousy. One nation is trying to beat the other nation and destroy the other nation, right? Because there is no control over one's mind and senses. There will be rapes, there is robbery. All of these things are there. Why? Because one does not have control over his mind and senses. And therefore he is running after all of these things which he thinks will give him happiness. But it leads to a complete chaos in society. Because one doesn't have control over his own mind and senses, he becomes greedy. He wants more and more and more at the cost of others. He'll put everyone else into misery, but he wants to be happy. Right? But a person for whom his mind and senses are under control, he can lead a life very peaceful. Although he may not have any material assets. और उसको कुछ बहुत बड़ा दौलत नहीं है, बहुत बड़ा पोजीशन नहीं है सोसाइटी में, he can still be happy. Why? Because he has control over his mind and senses. तो योगा जो हम प्रैक्टिस करते हैं, योगा सब लोगों ने सुना है, राइट? One of the goals of yoga is to control the mind and senses, to bring it under control. अभी मोरिंडो में योगा सब लोग क्यों करते हैं? फिट रहने के लिए. But actually yoga is supposed to bring the mind and senses under control, so that after bringing it under control, one can focus and meditate on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paramatma within the heart. But we see just the opposite in today's society. People do not have control over their mind. How many of us can live without the mobile phone for a day? Sure. 100%. For 1 week. Sure. Not sure. Half. So if you can, that's very nice. Because then we are able to control or have some control over our mind. But then as soon as we go out, then there will be so many advertisements that will distract us and that will try and allure us into buying different things, right? And we may get distracted, our mind may get carried away because we are not trained in this human life to have control over our mind and senses. So, how can we bring it under control? By sharpening our intelligence. The intelligence is the driver. How can we sharpen intelligence? Yes. By meditation. So we can do mantra meditation, chant. Yes. And? Yes, we should be reading scriptures because scriptures have knowledge. And with that knowledge, if we see the world, we'll see the world very different. Shastra Chakshu. When we see the world with the eyes of scriptures, then we'll see everything different. When you see a common man, he's fighting with another man for a place of seat in the train, you will know that this is not very important. It's just a temporary journey for maybe half an hour, 1 hour. And there is no point fighting for it. Right? When you see a man who is lusty running behind a woman, you will know that actually lust cannot satisfy a man. And to the degree he tries to satisfy it, to that degree the lust will only grow. Right? Because this is what the scriptures say. There was this king in the scriptures mentioned, Maharaja Yayati. He was for thousands and thousands of years trying to enjoy. He went to the extent of exchanging his lifespan with his son so that he could enjoy more. And so that his son would become old very fast. He went to that extent. And after enjoying for thousands of years, trying to gratify his senses, he concluded what? That I was cheated. I thought that I'll be able to satisfy my senses, but then eventually what happened? The more I tried to satisfy, the more, just like pouring, ghee in fire, the fire only increased. Right? Similarly, when a man actually tries to satisfy his senses, the greed for satisfying it increases more and more and more. So we actually get cheated in the process. So when one reads the scriptures, he'll actually understand and get knowledge about how this world works, how my body works, how my mind works, how my intelligence is supposed to function. Then we get better control over ourselves, our own mind and senses, and then we can actually be peaceful. Otherwise, we'll be cheated. And all of these advertisements and the TVs, the movies, the film industry, everyone is just targeting the man, the common man, because he's in ignorance. They know the weakness of every human being and they'll target just that. And then one will get entrapped, trying to consume all of this, very degraded content that is there. And when one gets trapped like that, then he feels helpless. He just feels that I must gratify my senses. That is what life is meant for. Right? Whereas a person who can actually gain control over his mind and senses is actually a hero. And therefore in the scriptures or in Vedic times, someone would be called a Goswami. Why? Go means senses. Swami means one who is able to control over his senses. Such a person is called as a Goswami. Right? So true spiritualist means that he abstains from sense gratification. And that will happen when one is able to control his mind and senses. Then he'll be very, very peaceful. Although he may not possess material assets, he'll be peaceful. Therefore, you will see, even in villages or sometimes far off places, you'll see people living in a very simple life. They're not, running to factories, running to job or anything like that. They're leading a very, very simple life, but they are more peaceful. Right? Why? Because their minds and senses are not much agitated. In the city like Mumbai, where you are exposed to so many things. Wherever, at every step, wherever you go, there is some bombardment, some advertisement given to you. On your mobile phone, on the billboards, in the news. Everywhere you will consume some content that will agitate your mind and senses. And because of which, we get troubled, we get agitated from inside, and we feel that no, I must, engage in sense gratification. So we get entrapped like that. So, we need to have good qualities. Right? There are some qualities that are there innate within us, and then there are some that are acquired. So we may acquire bad qualities. Now this is the table just to tell you the seriousness of or the gravity of bad qualities. At a very grave extent it may go on to loyalty, right? Someone was saying that humans are not loyal, animals are more loyal, right? So we may lack loyalty or bad mouthing, speaking against other people behind their back. So that is a very grave thing. One may end up doing such things. At a simpler extent, it may be something like, I may just postpone doing things. Kal karenge, padhai kal karenge. Right? I may have a habit of procrastinating, pushing things behind. That is not as grave, and on that side it's very grave. So one can assess and look at his own self and understand what is his personality type. In the Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 modes of material nature that are described: Sattva gun, Rajagun and Tamagun. How many of you have heard about these 3 modes? Sattva, Rajas, Tamas? Okay. So Sattva gun means the mode of goodness, Rajas means the mode of passion, and Tamas means the mode of ignorance. So in Sattva gun, there are different symptoms by which we can understand which guna or which mode we are influenced by. A person who is in the mode of ignorance, he is characterized by 3 things: Nidra, Alasya and Pramad. Nidra means sleep, Alasya means laziness, Pramad means madness. So he is foolish, he is confused, he is insecure, he is fearful, he has suicidal thoughts, he sometimes is depressed, right? He's hopeless, there's no thinking, they want to sleep. Such are people who are in the mode of ignorance. These are some of the symptoms of people in the Tamagun, in the mode of ignorance. Then what about the people in Rajagun? Rajagun is above Tamagun. Such people are very passionate. They want honor, they want respect, they are greedy, they are looking for glamour, they are looking for some cutthroat competition. They have a bossing tendency, they are very attached to things, they are envious, angry, and they are proud. So you will see all of these qualities in a person in the mode of Rajagun, passion. Yeah. So partial thinking means that he will not see the full picture. Something that is for his own interest, he'll just look at that, not the whole picture. He'll think of his own self-centeredness. So if a person is looking for prestige, honor, he thinks I am the best. मेरे से ज़्यादा किसको knowledge नहीं है. I know everything. He's very passionate. He wants to work very hard and get some reputation in society. Show others that I am the best. See, I could defeat you. See, this idea was mine. Because of my intelligence, this worked out. Such a person is in the mode of passion, right? Rajagun. But above the Rajagun, there is the Sattvagun. Sattvagun, a person is simple. He has a regulated lifestyle. He has wisdom, right? He is disciplined. He is obedient, right? He is noble and saintly. He can think creatively and he has actually realized the wisdom. Not that he has just acquired bookish knowledge, but he can actually practice it and realize what he has acquired, right? He is tolerant, right? He is friendly and he is submissive. And the very important thing is humble. He does not think himself to be very great, right? So these are qualities in the mode of Sattva. So we can see that either we are influenced by Sattvagun or Rajagun or Tamagun. Sometimes by Sattvagun, sometimes by Rajagun, sometimes by Tamagun. But it's something or the other influences us. Either of these modes will influence us. Sometimes the Rajagun becomes more prominent and we become very passionate. Sometimes Sattvagun becomes very prominent. We feel calm, peaceful, simple. We're able to focus, meditate, and do things like that. Sometimes ignorance becomes more prominent. Then we feel lazy, we feel depressed, we feel hopeless, right? Such qualities may be there. So at different times, different modes are prominent. But by and large, you will see that you're belonging to one of this. A major part of your life is belonging to one of these categories. Although it will keep changing from time to time. Right? So one has to understand. Now this is the story. Once this person was there, he was having his cap and he had a whole basket of caps. He went to sleep. When he woke up, he saw all his caps are gone. Who took his caps? The monkeys. So then the person in the Sattvagun, person in Rajagun and person in Tamagun will react in different ways to the same situation. How do you think the person in ignorance will react? Tamagun. Yes. Anger, okay. Yes. Anyone else? How do you think someone in Tamagun? Trying to harm monkeys, okay. That is more Rajagun. Anyone else? क्या करेगा वही व्यक्ति जो तमोगुण में है? Yes. गुस्सा वो भी रजोगुण में ही आता है, तमोगुण में नहीं. किसकी? हाँ, तो वो क्या करेगा वो? हाँ हाँ, इस सिचुएशन में वो क्या करेगा? अभी वो बंदर उसके टोपी उठा के ले गया, हिंसा, वो राजसिक हो गया थोड़ा. तमोगुण वाला व्यक्ति फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाएगा, होपलेस हो जाएगा, वो भाग जाएगा वहाँ से, बोलेगा गया मेरा सब टोपी नुकसान हो गया, मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता, गिव अप. रजोगुण वाला व्यक्ति क्या करेगा? हाँ, फाइटिंग, पत्थर मारेगा. हाँ, वो पत्थर पकड़ेगा और मारेगा. सत्वगुण में व्यक्ति क्या करेगा? हाँ, वेट कामली, या ही इज काम, यूज इज इंटेलिजेंस. क्या करेगा फिर वो? अपनी टोपी नीचे फेंकेगा. उसको मालूम है जो बंदर है वो एक्टिंग करता है, जो मैं करूँगा वो ही करेगा, तो अपना टोपी नीचे, सारे बंदर अपनी टोपी नीचे फेंकेंगे तो वो उठा लेगा. तो सत्वगुण में जो व्यक्ति है वो काम, पीसफुल सिचुएशन को समझेगा और फिर काम करेगा. जो रजोगुण में उसको इमीडिएटली गुस्सा है, मेरा टोपी ले लिया था, फेंकेगा वो पत्थर ऊपर. तो हम बे देखते हैं ऐसे ऑफिस में, फ्रेंड्स में, कुछ लोग होते हैं ऐसे, उनको थोड़ा कुछ फूक भी मारा तो वो लोग सीधा उत्तेजित हो जाते हैं, गुस्सा एकदम आ जाता है उनको. है ऐसे लोग, देखा है आपने कभी कभी? कभी रास्ते में भी आप गाड़ी चला रहे हैं, कुछ ऐसा थोड़ा सा टच भी कर लिया, मेरी गाड़ी को कुछ हो, जैसे उसको किसी ने मारा हो या कुछ, है ना. तो रजोगुण. तो ये 3 गुण हैं, हमको समझना चाहिए कि हमें किस गुण में रहना चाहिए, इन व्हाट मोड ऑफ, यस, सत्वगुण. वी शुड ट्राई एंड कम टू द प्लेटफॉर्म ऑफ गुडनेस. तो पुराने ज़माने में जो राजा होते थे उनको राज ऋषि कहते थे. तो वो राजा भी होते थे, ऋषि भी होते थे. तो सत्वगुण में जो है वो उसके पास लव, कंपैशन, ये क्वालिटीज़ होते हैं. जो रजोगुण में वो अग्रेसिव होता है, सेल्फिश होता है थोड़ा. और जो तमोगुण में होता है वो लेजी होता है, सेंशियस होता है और इनएक्टिव होता है. लेकिन जो राज ऋषि होते थे वो लोग क्षत्रिय थे. लेकिन ऑल तो वो लोग क्षत्रिय थे जो नॉर्मली रजोगुण में आता है, वो किन से गाइडेंस लेते थे? ब्राह्मण से, जो सत्वगुण में होते. तो इसलिए वो अपना किंगडम जो है वो प्रॉपर्ली लीड कर पाते थे. आप देखेंगे लॉर्ड राम भी जो है वो क्षत्रिय थे, वो किंग थे, लेकिन वो किससे राय लेते थे? ब्राह्मणास से. उनके भी गुरु थे, तो उनसे वो ओपिनियन लेते थे कि कैसे उनको रूल करना चाहिए किंगडम. तो ऐसा अगर कॉम्बिनेशन होगा तो बहुत अच्छा है. अ पर्सन शुड लीड हिज लाइफ by taking guidance from a person who is actually in Sattvagun, right? Because he can guide and tell you, this is what you're not supposed to do, this is what you're supposed to do. But a person in in passion, in Rajagun, he cannot see things as they are. उसको नहीं दिखाई देता है. क्यों नहीं दिखाई देता? क्योंकि वो जैसी कुछ चीज़ देखेगा अपने एन्जॉयमेंट के लिए तो उसके पीछे भागेगा. सत्वगुण में जो रहेगा वो बोलेगा अरे मत भाग, दिस विल बी हार्मफुल फॉर यू, डोंट रन बिहाइंड दिस, राइट. So person in the mode of goodness can actually give guidance to a person in the mode of passion and even in the person in the mode of ignorance. So जो पुराने समय जो राजा ऋषि होते थे, they were actually blessed because they had divine instructions given by people in the mode of goodness, सत्वगुण. इसलिए उनको राज ऋषि बोलते थे, राइट. तो ऐसे रैंडमली कुछ भी नहीं करते थे. कोई भी पॉलिसी बनाओ, कैसा भी गवर्नमेंट को रूल करो, जस्ट क्योंकि आपको किसी ने वोट दे दिया तो आप राजा बन गए, वैसा नहीं होता था. दे वुड एक्चुअली टेक गाइडेंस फ्रॉम द ब्राह्मणास, एंड द ब्राह्मणास वर नॉट डूइंग एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन, दे वर जस्ट गिविंग नॉलेज. दैट वाज देयर ऑक्यूपेशन. दे आर गिविंग नॉलेज एंड गाइडिंग द किंग. सो हाउ कैन वी ब्रिंग आवरसेल्व्स टू मोड ऑफ गुडनेस. तो ये हमने डिस्कस किया कि सत्वगुण में आना चाहिए, बट कैसे आएंगे. सो वी हैव टू हैव द राइट एसोसिएशन. वी हैव टू एसोसिएट विद पीपल हु आर in the mode of goodness, saintly people. Then we will be actually able to bring ourselves higher up in the mode of goodness. If you go to a pub, if you go to a disco, do you expect to come in the mode of goodness? Not possible. So if your friends or your circle is filled with people who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, then that is what will come to you also. But if you associate with people who are in the mode of goodness, then automatically that will brush onto you. Right? Man is known by the company he keeps. Right? So if you associate with the right people, then that will actually elevate your consciousness. It will bring you higher up in the mode of goodness. Second, we have to read books, scriptures like the Bhagavad Gita. So when we read the instructions of Lord Krishna, when we read the Bhagavad Gita, then we'll actually understand what is this human form of life and what is its purpose. And then we'll be able to elevate ourselves and see the world from a different point of view, from a different perspective. Right? Third, we should have some daily spiritual practice, like chanting. Right? So we are chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. In the Kali Yuga, it is said that this chanting is the only means of deliverance. Kalo dosha nidhe rajan asti eka mahan gunan kirtanadeva krishnasya mukta sangam param rajet. And in this age of Kali Yuga, it is filled with faults. Dosha nidhe rajan, there is an ocean of faults in this age of Kali Yuga. Asti eka mahan gunan, but there is one very great quality in this age of Kali Yuga. What is that? Kirtanadeva krishnasya. That kirtan or chanting the names of Lord Krishna is that one remedy that will counteract the evil effects of everything in this world, in this Kali Yuga. This one thing. And there are many such verses in the scriptures which say that in this age of Kali Yuga there is no other process but chanting of the holy names. Right? So chanting is very important. We should have a spiritual practice which we should do on a daily basis, and that is very simple. We should chant every day the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Fourth thing, diet. Our diet should also be in sattva, sattva gun, sattvic ahar. Suna hai? What does it mean? We should eat simple food like fruits, milk, grains, cereals, vegetables, right? Natural products. And to make it above sattva, which is Shuddha sattva, we should actually offer it to the Lord first. Right? Then that becomes prasad, and that is what we should take. Then that becomes Shuddha sattva, beyond goodness. That will actually free us from a lot of impurities. That will free us from impure tendencies also. That will free us from so much karmic reaction just by taking Krishna Prasad. So we should eat food in the mode of goodness, right? Sattva. So we should as much as possible abstain from Rajasic and Tamasic food. What does it contain? Rajasic food and Tamasic food. Non-veg, onion, garlic, tea, coffee, all of this is very rajasic. We should abstain from it. Right? Simple food we should eat. Because what we eat is what we become. There is a saying like that. तो आप जो भी खाते हैं उसका डायरेक्ट असर आपके कॉन्शियसनेस पे पड़ता है. So if you eat food in the mode of goodness, then you will actually be able to elevate your consciousness. एंड लास्ट इज एनवायरनमेंट. तो जैसे अभी यहाँ पर आए हम, तो यहाँ पे मंदिर में आप देखेंगे यहाँ पे इतना डिस्ट्रैक्शन नहीं है, यहाँ पे माइंड सेंसेस फिर भी थोड़ा कंट्रोल में है. बाहर जैसे ही जाते हैं तो फिर इमीजिएटली द एनवायरनमेंट इज नॉट कंड्यूसिव. तो एज मच एज पॉसिबल वी शुड नॉट पुट आवरसेल्व्स इन अ सिचुएशन वेयर वी हैव टू कॉम्प्रोमाइज, वेयर वी आर getting affected by our surrounding, and that is dragging us in the wrong direction. We should not go only to such places. A friend बोलेगा चलो डिस्को में चलते हैं, पार्टी में चलो. No, why? You will go there, it will disturb your mind even more. So you may say नहीं मैं तो जा रहा था प्रोजी, बस उधर मैं गया था, मैं खाया पिया कुछ नहीं, मेरे फ्रेंड सब कर रहे थे, मैं तो बैठा था खाली. No, it's not conducive, it's not good for us, for our consciousness. Even though at that time we may not do anything wrong, everything that we see around will have an impression on our mind. It will create a picture in our mind, and at a later stage it will agitate us, it will come up. Just like पानी में एकदम पीसफुल रहता है पानी, but जैसे आप एक पत्थर फेंकोगे तो क्या होगा? Right? It gets agitated. Similarly, at a later stage, all these impressions that we get in such surroundings will go to our mind. And at a later stage, when the mind gets agitated, it will all come up and trouble us. Then we'll think about all of those things. Then we'll feel, oh, I should also enjoy. Right? So better not to create such impressions to the mind. Already the mind is exposed to so many things unwantedly, right? Through mobile, through internet, right? Through advertisement and so much, so on. So why to further agitate the mind by putting itself in an environment where things are so polluted, right? Whatever goes in comes out. Good in, good out. Garbage in, garbage out. So whatever you feed yourself, that only you can expect that will come out. So you cannot expect to become a saintly person by feeding itself with all polluted environment, right? You will not, it will not happen. Your mind will be agitated, disturbed. So there was an experiment, a research done at the Harvard University, which showed the effect of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There are different waves, the brain waves, and this is how it is. So the brain wave is below 3 or below 8, then that is ignorance kind of. A person is very lazy, drowsy and so on. Above that is the relaxed and alert zone from 8 to 13. And above that is the active zone, and above that is hyperactive zone. It was found that the person who was working very, very hard, his brainwave went up to 21 and he died on the spot. Overactive, hyperactive brain. Right? So when we are chanting and doing mantra meditation, then our brain is in the relaxed yet alert zone. So we are alert. We are understanding what our surrounding is like. At the same time we are relaxed. Right? So we should try and bring ourselves in this range, in this zone. So then there are some tips by which we can understand whether we are good managers of our life. So we saw that okay, we have to come to the mode of goodness, but then who am I? Am I a person who plans? Am I a person who likes to do things? Am I a person who likes to interact? अभी आप लोग अपने माइंड में सब लोग एक टिक दो, एक प्लस डालो. आप जिस भी कैटेगरी को हाँ बोलते हो अपने आप के लिए. इफ़ यू थिंक दैट यू आर समवन हु कैन प्लान वेरी वेल, पुट अ प्लस. इफ़ यू थिंक दैट यू कैन डू थिंग्स नाइसली, पुट अ प्लस. इफ़ यू थिंक यू कैन इंटरेक्ट वेरी वेल with people, put a plus in your mind. Done? There may be multiple plus, there may be none, there may be one, whatever. That's completely based on who we are, right? Now, wherever you put a plus, as per this chart, you will understand where we are situated. Clear? What is the best? First, you are a balanced person. If you are able to plan, do, and also interact with other people. Second is You do your own things well, but you cannot interact with other people. Third is, you do others' priorities well. You never plan yourself. You go with the flow. There's no planning. Fourth is, you plan and you interact, but you didn't end up doing anything. तो फिर ऐसा planning का क्या फायदा, right? When you don't do anything. Then similarly, we have this daydreamer, workaholic, or people friendly but poor at finishing work. तो अगर आप किसी एक ही में अच्छे हो, जैसे if you can only plan very well but other things you cannot do, then you are a daydreamer. If you can only work but you are not good at planning, understanding what is the use of all of this planning, and you are very poor at interacting also, then you are a workaholic. If you are good at interacting with people but you cannot plan and do things, then you're delightful but incompetent. You cannot actually do things properly. अगर कुछ भी नहीं है तो फिर it's complete ignorance, right? Neither delightful nor incompetent. So it is said that in modern day, these four hormones are there which are not released because of the modern day lifestyle, right? And this is all because of lack of sleep, lack of proper relationships, lack of health and happiness in general, because of which we are not able to release these hormones. So there's dopamine, feeling of sense of completion, feeling of health and joyful, feeling of selfless contribution, and last is feeling of social connection. Okay, so we'll go a little quick because we have very less time. I'm going to skip some things. So find out which mode these time wasters items belong to. Never setting goals or setting goals and not sticking to them. कौन सा mode है ये? हाँ? Never setting goals.
Not planning.
Not planning. कौन सा mode हुआ? If you have to categorize in goodness, passion, ignorance, then ignorance. Then moving around and socializing too much to feel security. Right? Interaction. Low level of concentration, getting easily distracted by trivial things. See, all of us may have some of these, right? Or one of these. We may feel. You can see it for yourself. Doing more than one thing at a time and accepting unrealistic deadlines is passion, right? Getting involved in everything to gain credit and popularity. I want to become popular. Again, Rajagud, right? Passion. Indecisive and postponing decisions. Ignorance. Thinking no one else can manage my work if I am absent. मेरे बिना तो कुछ नहीं हो सकता. Passion. Feeling difficulty to work with highly accomplished and smart leaders. Be ignorance. Forgetting things or badly organized, unclean desk. Tamagud, ignorance. Looking for too much of perfection in job leading to micromanagement. Passion. Right? So we need to look at what brings joy. Relationships bring joy, or the results are the ones that bring us joy? Relationship. Okay. You can check for yourself. So smart people, they focus on what? Improving communication with other people, better preparations, whereas planning, taking better care of self, taking up new opportunities when they come, personal development, preventive maintenance, which means don't wait for the time where you fall, right? So you maintain yourself, empowerment, right? So this brings us towards the end. So why all the five? I don't know if this video is there, not there. It's there. So why so many billionaires, they wake up at 4?
Why are successful people waking up at 4 a.m. and not a different hour? What is the secret behind it? Well, they know how their brain works, and they take advantage of their brainwave states and brain chemistry. The brain produces electrical patterns, often referred to as waves. When you're first awake, your brain operates at around 10.5 waves per second. The range from 8 to 13 hertz, or cycles per second, is the alpha stage. It's been called the gateway to the subconscious mind. But when you wake up this early, you are between theta and alpha. The mind is capable of deep and profound learning, being fully aware and focused with an effortlessly calm mind. In other words, you don't have to work as hard. You are not thinking. You just relax into the moment. Another important fact known by all successful people is when you wake up, your subconscious mind is most impressionable and soaks up information like a sponge. Whatever you hear, see, or are exposed to in the first 20 minutes will affect you and set the tone for the rest of your day. This is why they meditate, listen to affirmations, and not checking their social media and emails so early. They choose consciously their tone of the day, being focused and positive and not being distracted. They choose to go to bed early and use the premature hours of each day in their own advantage. They make up a routine of waking up before the sun starts to shine and go to sleep after the sun goes down. Why do they go to bed so early? Between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. is where you can get the most from regenerative and deep sleep. After 2 a.m., sleep lacks the quality that you need as it becomes more superficial, chronically depriving your body of the regenerative sleep which you can enjoy between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. makes you wake up in the morning even more tired than when you went to bed. The human body is closely linked to the day and night cycle. That is why, within 1 or 2 hours after sunset, your melatonin levels start to rise. This is how your body's telling you that it's time to go to bed. At midnight, melatonin levels reach their highest value, and after this, they start decreasing gradually. 10 p.m. is when your body reacts as a result of the increment in the melatonin levels. This period of transformation in your sleep cycle brings along a more intense metabolic activity. This one is responsible for the repair and restoration of the whole body. In order for this 10 p.m. reaction to take place, your body needs to slow down, which translates into reduction of your mental and physical activity. If you're still awake, there is a phenomena that takes place at this hour called second wind. This is caused by the rise in mental activity and energy that your system has at 10 p.m. Nevertheless, you can only feel what the second wind's value is truly about if you are asleep at 10 p.m. Studies show that if you go past the 10 p.m. bedtime, you'll find it more difficult to fall asleep. Also, you won't be able to enjoy refreshing sleep, which will lead to significant weariness in the morning. Small things matter, so even the simple shift in your bedtime hour from 11 p.m. to 10 p.m. can make a huge difference regarding the quality of your sleep. Moreover, there are high chances that you'll wake up in the morning feeling energized and ready to start the day. This happens because you allow your system to go through its natural neurochemistry and you take advantage of this wave that it's on its way before 10 p.m. Moreover, your body also benefits from the metabolic changes that naturally take place as the clock ticks 10 p.m. If you are among those that usually fall asleep well past 10 p.m., you should consider changing the situation. Set up a goal to go to bed earlier by 15 to 30 minutes each week until you hit 10 p.m. bedtime goal. Early risers like Apple CEO Tim Cook, Oprah Winfrey, and Dwayne Johnson choose to greet the day at the crack of dawn because that's where motivation is created, and they don't need to ask for it. That silence of early morning hours is what helps them use their potential to the maximum. Successful people choose to use every minute available in a day because their life's purpose is higher than any other short-term pleasure or comfortable bed mattress. They instilled this habit of waking up early in their DNA because they understand how a strong and consistent routine can support a successful life. The human brain can work at its maximum potential when it doesn't have to multitask. The quality level of work is highly dependent on the level of focus. When there are no distractions and noises to disturb concentration, the brain has a great capacity to focus on certain tasks and thus generate a balanced rate between quality and work. Successful people are aware of this, and they use their alone time in the early morning to take full advantage of their brain's functioning capacity. High achievers understand that premature hours of the day allow them to make better decisions as their energy levels are at their peak. Those who live a grand life understand that early morning willpower helps them to achieve high levels of discipline. A disciplined morning guides them towards a whole day of discipline, and this is exactly what supports their successful life. The peaceful and quiet time you get before the sun rises creates the environment you need in order to take care of yourself, which doesn't happen too often during the day. It's the me time that allows you to provide yourself with everything you need in order to successfully go through the day. As soon as the alarm goes off, you're facing a bump in the road, and it's up to you to get over it or not. It's up to you to decide whether you use your time in your advantage or not. When everybody else is still dreaming and sleeping in their comfortable beds, it's your time to shine. It's your time to get out of your comfortable zone and have that well-deserved breakthrough. The early morning hours are moments where you can be ahead of things without being distracted. It's a time where you can focus and pay attention to what really matters. It's a time where you can go past those old and narrow-minded thoughts that stopped you from getting the real taste of what this life can truly be. It is all on you, and you decide how to spend your life. You decide when your day starts.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Thank you. So we could see that how successful people actually wake up very early, and that is what devotees also do. So if you come to the temple sometime early in the morning, you will see the first aarti in the temple happens at 4:30, and devotees wake up. Those who are staying in the temple, they wake up at 3:30, right? So that is how we begin the day. So like it said, the first 20 minutes of after waking up sets the tone for the day. So what do we do after we wake up, right? And how early do we wake up? It is said that the sleep from 9 to 12 in the night is as good as 6 hours of sleep. And that is why you feel very relaxed if you go to bed early. But if you're going to bed very late, after 11, 12, then although you may have rested, you will feel lazy, you will feel tired, you will feel that you don't have the energy. So it's very important that we make a schedule for ourselves so that we can actually go to bed early and rise early. And when we rise, then the very first thing we should do is we should take a shower, take a bath, and engaged in doing mantra meditation, chanting. That is the best time of the day because the mind is not disturbed. The mind is not distracted, and you can actually focus at that time. So that is the best time, the Brahma Muhurta, right? It is called 1.5 hours before sunrise and after sunrise. It is the most auspicious time of the day to engage in spiritual activity. Right? So this is the game of life, right? So we have to learn the tactics, the way of playing this game in order to become successful in leading this game, living this game nicely, and then eventually winning, which will take us to our good destination after this life. Okay, so we'll end here. In the coming sessions, you will see some other topics. Soul, there will be the 5 S's. The first is soul, supreme, the supreme being, scriptures, solutions, Vedic solutions to problems, sound vibration. So these are the 5 Phs which we'll be discussing in the coming sessions. Thank you. Are there any